There really aren't that many people who can be spoken about by just one name, with millions of people instantly knowing exactly who you're talking about. When it comes to Olympic athletes and men's skating, mention this one name and you'll bring a smile from coast to coast in Canada and with millions of fans around the world. Elvis. Yes, Elvis Stojko, the 7-time Canadian champion, 2-time Olympic medalist, and 3-time world champion. Elvis knows firsthand what it's like to compete on the world stage and knows how critically important it is to be healthy to win.
Believe it or not, it's been over 10 years since I last skated in the 2002 Olympics in Salt Lake City. Well, I'm 10 years older, and I like to think 20 years wiser. I work out daily, I still train, I watch what I eat, and for the past 3 years, I've been drinking special water from Japan. For years, I'd been buying bottled water. I carry it with me in the car, to the rink, to the gym, to the office, and now to the racetrack. No, not to bet on the horses. I've been racing karts on the pro circuit. A good friend told me that the bottled water I was buying was actually acidic and not as good for me as I thought. I wasn't sure what he meant, but he's a smart guy, so I was a bit curious and wanted to learn more. He told me about a special machine from Japan that a friend of his had in his kitchen and how it changes tap water into really healthy, great tasting water filled with antioxidant power, and a lot of people said they were sleeping better, their skin and hair was looking nicer, they had more energy, and how for athletes, this water helped offset the buildup of lactic acid so they recovered quicker and had more endurance. He said I should try it. Now, you know, I get approached with a lot of new products all the time, so I'm always a bit skeptical, because many products are just not what they're cracked up to be. So when he started telling me that the machine changed the molecular structure of the water, I was starting to think he was full of it. I thought, come on, water is water, right? Well, it turns out that all water is not the same. This technology is used at hospitals, restaurants, and homes throughout Japan. This machine is classified as a medical device in Japan and is manufactured in a certified factory. I've traveled to Japan many times. In fact, one of my Olympic medals was at the 1998 Winter Olympics in Nagano, Japan. I've always been very impressed with their culture, their ingenuity, and their health. For a month, I lived with a family in Japan, and they were so warm and kind, and I learned so much about their respect and family values. According to the United Nations, Japan ranks up there as one of the healthiest populations in the world. And as a country, they have the longest life expectancy. They're number 1. Canada is number 11. The US is number 38. The human body is made up of over 70% water, and most of us just don't drink enough of it. For many people, their daily diet consists of fast food, processed foods, and soft drinks. The only time some of them drink water is to swallow their prescription medication. We're overfed and undernourished. The adult population, and even more concerning to me, our children, are facing record amounts of obesity, diabetes, and related problems. So what's different in Japan? Well, many experts think diet and water play an important role. When I heard that this machine was from Japan, the company was almost 40 years old, and the founder was an incredibly healthy, energetic visionary in his 70s, I wanted to learn more. Then I started thinking. For the past few years, I've been really into racing. I don't put regular gas in my race car. I use high-octane race gas. It runs better, and the engine lasts longer. If you eat a lot of junk food, you're going to feel it. There's cheap wine and really good wine. So it was starting to make sense that there could be different qualities of water. The bottled water industry has invested billions of dollars trying to convince us that bottled water is better than tap. The environmentalists are telling us that plastic bottles are clogging our landfills, and other studies warn that plastic used in some of these bottles may be linked to cancer. In Canada, more and more laws are being passed against bottled water. It's confusing. So what do? Well, you try to keep an open mind. A couple of years ago, I was up at the CNE. That's a huge annual exhibition in Toronto. It's 2 weeks long and thousands of people attend. We were skating 2 shows a day. It was a tough schedule. After the 10th day, my legs were killing me. My physiotherapist, Jason, stepped up and said, "Elvis, why don't you try the water?" So I thought, what did I have to lose? It was just water. What if it could provide some relief? better health to lots of people just by changing the water they drink. Was that possible? So we called Alan, who brought me a couple of gallons of 9.0. I started drinking it. I didn't know how or why, but I started feeling better. My legs loosened up, and I skated 8 more days, 16 more shows, and I've been drinking Kangen water ever since. So has my wife, a lot of our friends, and our dogs. They love it. When I travel, I always try to take one of my machines with me. Some people have asked, if the water's so special, why isn't it bottled and sold in stores? Well, there's a simple explanation. The unique properties of the water only last about 2 days. After a couple of days, the oxidation reduction potential of the water has diminished. So to get the full benefit of the water, you really need to drink it fresh from the machine. The machine makes 7 different types of water. That's right, 7. We've only briefly talked about one of them, but wait till you hear about how horses, dogs, and cats have been responding to the water, how restaurants and hotels are using 2 of the waters for eco-friendly cleaning, sanitizing, and reducing their chemical footprint and making their food taste better. I've invited someone to join us today to show you how the machine works and explain those 7 different types of water.